That's true. Lock-in years are not good for Team Liquid. But let's talk about the most important team in Shopify. The one that won the offseason, the one that did what they needed to do. We did bid for Quid. We lost the bid. Whatever, it happens. We got a player who I wasn't as excited about, I'll be honest, as Quid. I thought Quid would have been a better fit than Zinni. I watched some Zinni VODs and I was like, I don't know that this is like the player that I'm.
He's watched the
I don't know that this is the player that I'm like.
He's watched the solo queue VODs.
No, it wasn't compilations. It wasn't compilations. But I was like, I don't know that this is the person I want to put all my eggs into. Yeah, I'll just let you go first, Paul. Like, how do you feel as a Shopify fan picking up Zinni?
I mean, it's kind of both teams I like picked Korean mids who are kind of like unknowns. So I'm excited because they should be good, you would think. But there's also that part of me that's like, oh, I'm going to have to be really patient because a lot of Korean mids have a tendency to start out really slow. And that's going to be unfortunate. I was kind of hoping for the Quid so we could get into the win now territory. Granted, I was a little worried about us going Quid, and I'm kind of excited with Zinni because I was very worried about having a Contracts and Quid duo where I could see both of them like in the bright lights having problems. And then I'm really stuck there, even though Contracts is kind of getting out of that, but he still has his moments. And I didn't really fully want that, so I guess this is a little better. But it's hard to really know. Like, I can be excited. I assume we've upgraded. It can't be much worse than Palafox was at the end. No offense to him. I'm glad they were sitting there, like, kind of, what is it called? Not tampering. But they were looking for a mid on a timely schedule, and I think that's good.
Well, they had permission to talk. Like, we had permission to talk with them. Like, there was no tampering done.
Yeah.
Also, Zinni was like
poaching Paul here, trying to mince his words here. Fuck off.
I know, right?
I thought
Marn, I have a question for you. Marn, so with Zinni, one of the things that I noticed in his VODs is he likes to play these unorthodox champions. Like, I think Vel'Koz is a champion he likes to play. He likes to play TF. He likes to play Zoe. He likes to play these unorthodox champions that we know Revan really also likes unorthodox champions. So I feel like that could have actually swayed him in joining Shopify because it's like, oh, this coach really likes playing non-meta. I like playing non-meta.
I'm gonna say
I'll let you go from there. You had a very
interesting
reaction.
I bet Zinni didn't know who the fuck Revan was until he joined that team. I'm sorry. He didn't know who the fuck. I'm sorry. I love you both. Like, he did not join Shopify because he wanted to. He woke up one day and said, I'm going to play for Revan. That's the coach I want to play for. And, like, I think Revan's a good coach, by the way. I think he does good with the sum of his parts. But I think Shopify...
Let me just clarify before you go on. I don't think it was because of Revan. I think that's one of the factors... Besides the bag that
I think that's a factor
like,
why it will work well, not because of why he joined. I think, like, that's how I would angle. I think that's why he could work well now that they're in. But if he wants to play Vex, I have a VOD to show you.
Here's my question. Is Revan the coach outside of Spawn, obviously, because Spawn's like the one that we all know? Is he the coach in the league that is most on the hot seat right now?
No, because
I think I will dominate those.
Maybe.
And then Revan.
All eyes are going to be on us.
We can't equivalent an assistant coach to a head coach. We have to draw that line somewhere.
I will dominate.
People are going to.
He is not. And Nico's the head coach.
The people, like, narrative-wise, are going to make him the head coach, even though he's not, and that's what's really going to annoy me because this is an Arrows team at the end of the day. Like, Dom is going to be a big part of why I think we can be good, but he's not. He isn't the main coach. Like, that's what I really want to make clear.
Yeah, but he's getting all the blame and all the praise.
Sure, yeah. But is Revan like from a actual sport point of view? Is Revan besides Spawn the coach on the hot seat? Now that he has this is as good of a roster that you are probably going to build in the offseason, barring maybe an upgrade to Seos. Like, what more could you possibly ask for? He has to make worlds with this roster, no?
I was going to point to that. I think the expectation is they have to make worlds, but I'm not putting the expectation that they're going to win the championship because I don't think this is a championship winning roster. I don't think they have the consistency.
I think you're high, but okay.
High.
Keep
Look,
going.
look at how the majority of the year, not great. Like, and you actually ended the year with a losing record in summer. Like you beat us narrowly, and we were shit. Like we were beyond shit in that playoffs, like narrowly. And after that, Fudge and Contracts decided they're going on vacation. Then they decide that you beat Cloud9, and then told them to move aside so we can sit next to you. Like that's what it was. Like I want to see consistent before I even think that you're a championship contender, because I think you can make worlds. By the way, like I think you can make worlds, and I actually think you will make worlds. Like let's be clear, I'm not ready to call you a championship team yet, because we saw you beat us and then you completely fell off a cliff. And I actually started watching some of your interview. By the way, please go and watch Cloud's interview with Revan. It's actually really fucking good. But
where we went 0-20 in scrims after beating you guys.
You beat us, and then the mentality just went like that. Like you had your free hit against FlyQuest, and like if people don't know, free hits is like there was zero expectation for you to win. But if you win, fucking A, you're pretty much there to Worlds. Like I can't remember. Did you qualify for Worlds if you won that series? Was that the first place? No.
Yeah.
We'd have to win to
FlyQuest, right?
No, because the winner of FlyQuest 100 Thieves is the one that made the guaranteed worlds.
Yeah.
So even if we beat FlyQuest, we would have had to play one more game.
But it would have been a Brazilian team that we should beat if we could beat FlyQuest.
Like, but that was your free hit series, and the fact that you tilted after your free hit series really rubbed me the wrong way with this roster. And
I mean, me too. Don't get me wrong.
Like, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
pull up. I got a counter for
you. As much as I will hear it in a second. As much as I like, I'm going to be listening to the why C9 choked. I actually think you guys choked just as hard. Like, you guys beat us just like that. You still beat us. I gave you props at the time. You then completely just disappeared, and you lost to a Timu Brazilian team. I know I'm gonna get fucking hate on that, but like, you didn't even lose to a good Brazilian team. And like, Fudge and Contracts were abysmal. I think they played. Sorry, I actually didn't check the FlyQuest series, but I remember I think it was actually a pretty decent showing, even though he lost. I can't remember.
Our FlyQuest game was good.
But like, the 100 Thieves series was FBI and Ayla fucking steamrolled your bot lane. And like, this is why I'm not ready to call you a championship winning team yet, because the second you had I'm not going to call it a fluke, like, as other people would call it, but you had like an upset win, and then you completely didn't like move on from that. I'm not talking about the FlyQuest series, by the way, because I wasn't expecting you to win that one. But you then didn't take care of business after that. So if people are down on us, then I'm down on like you guys as well.
I think though, we were already, I'm not even lying, going into the C9 series, I think we were already pre-tilted because our players knew that the ceiling was so low because of Palafox's ability to suck that bad. And beating C9 at that level in our players, like being able to rise above Palafox and win that series shows, and you guys literally got rid of your best player this offseason. You didn't get rid of. You lost your best player and replaced him with a 5th place mid who did not look good and in Fearless, and has continued to not look good in Fearless. And I'm supposed to sit there and be like, bro, our biggest problem was mid. We, in theory, giga upgrade this thing, get it way better. This should fix the mental of the whole team. We should be able to go into scrims and just not watch our mid laner get ran in mid lane, and we don't have to play desperate anymore. Because if we're being real, our team was playing super desperate. You could tell because other lanes thought they had to get leads, and now we're just free.
I agree, but FBI was averaging almost like 10 kills every game, like that series. Like,
but go back and watch those games. I'm not gonna let this slide. I let it slide the first time. Go back and watch those games. We were having leads in the beginning of the game. Then it came to teamfight phase, and we lost every single teamfight because 100 Thieves were the teamfight team, right? So like, yes, we lost to your strength, but like that, B-Boy was like, we weren't running it down in lane or anything. Like, you're making it sound a lot worse than, hey, 100 Thieves was a really good teamfight team. They aced us every single teamfight.
No, but what I'm saying is like the bottom lane was severely outperforming you in these things, and I know it's a team game and etc. But
in the teamfight phase where we sucked as a team, like, yeah, that happened. I agree with you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, your top side was more disappointing than your bot side. That bot has one series because I thought they had a really good summer. Like, to be clear, But
No, I agree.
just
That's
before
what
David
my
goes,
one
like,
little worry of them.
you do remember Sven getting solo killed multiple times and
I'm not
2v2 killed by our bot lane. So like,
what
I'm saying is,
though. Yeah.
what I'm saying is, yes, our bot lane can have an off series, but our bot lane's actually one of the more consistent parts.
Yeah.
Of our.
I'm just trying to make the point. No, I know Palafox is okay. He's shit. Like, I'm just gonna so like.
Yeah.
But the other parts around him were not like making it so it's not a scapegoat, because the other parts in that playoffs were really bad. Like in different series, like I thought Fudge and Contracts were pretty bad. Like after the C9 series, but then the 100 Thieves series, like your bot lane had an off day, but your top side consistently was getting ran on like that playoff. So like that's why I'm actually like, I think this is why I'm not ready to put you guys above us, even though we choked a couple times, but like you haven't. I thought you would have been more aggressive at changes, but
come on, Matt. Are you really gonna be like a team that got third, fourth, second?
We tried to get Boosty. Like, this is public at this
is
point.
now
Like,
tournament favorite by downgrading at mid, bruh? I'm supposed to believe that? Third, fourth, second into fourth, downgrades at mid. If we're being real, picks a head coach who has no winning culture in him. Like, the man does not win.
Revan doesn't have either, though. Revan has, like, you guys didn't make a final this year. You weren't top.
Yeah, but what makes you feel like you're better?
I didn't say we're better.
What have you done?
No, but the way Cloud and you are speaking is if you're like here and we're here, it's there. Like, I'm not disagreeing that we're not, like, I'm not saying we're like fucking championship favorites.
There.
But, like,
that's the point.
I don't think it's that. But you didn't prove that. You didn't prove that afterwards, though. Like, if you're up here, you should be beating that Brazilian team. So you go down there. Anyways, this is silly, but like, what I'm saying is,
I get what you're saying.
Like, you are like, we can go on to C9, but I think
we beat you, which isn't.
No, I want David. I want David to get on this. He's just like sitting down laughing the entire time.
I'm loving every minute of this. This is so fun to watch the monkeys.
He's gonna go with C9 because he's gonna be like, "Hey, even though Thanatos."
No, I'm going with Shopify. I'm 100% siding with Shopify on this because if you take in the context of C9 versus Shopify and who has the potential to make for those changes to elevate them further. Even if I personally love APA, and I'm speaking of it, like I picked C9 out of pure narrative bliss for me because I love APA and what he's doing there. If I'm speaking objectively and grading this on the same scale that I would have 100 Thieves if they were still in the league, 100 Thieves had 2 straight years where one player was such a massive problem that it had ripple effects in every other lane. Quid randomly stops performing because the bot lane in 2024 is so fucking terrible with Meech in it. Right? And then they upgrade, and all of a sudden, Quid just this guy that is randomly underperforming compared to what we know he's capable of starts popping off again. Same thing for River. There's a ton of intangibles that you don't see in the locker room culture that can be brought by just fixing one single thing. And then the same thing happens last year where there are clearly issues with Sniper. I still don't like how 100 Thieves handled it. Could have just announced him as a player coach from the jump. But regardless, he comes in and you immediately see the chemistry of the team change. You immediately see problems in the bot lane with FBI and Ayla falling behind at points. All of a sudden, they're stabilizing a lot better. And now the rest of the team is able to play around them to the point where they're winning team fights even more, even harder than they were at the beginning of the year, which is wild. So for Shopify, there's not a doubt in my mind that Zinni coming in and providing that I use pressure relief valve a lot, but just finally getting rid of that one problem that clearly had ripple effects elsewhere. When Fudge doesn't have, as I think Paul or one of you two said it, when you don't have to worry about one of your lanes just absolutely fucking running it, it relieves so much pressure off your back that you don't have to do the dumb things that you thought you did, as well as it builds trust within the team fights. So I see a clear world where Shopify comes in and just looks night and day different. Back to the form whenever they look like they might, for some reason, be able to contend towards the end of last year. That, but possibly better. Now that said, I still think C9's players have a higher floor coming in, not higher ceiling.
Where I will
if
push back.
if Shopify Cloud9 are here, who's above them to you guys? Like, let's say they're both here. Who's above?
TL. I think on paper, immediately TL is above.
Just TL?
Yeah, just
Okay,
because
this was
Yawn
going to
and
be my
quit.
next question.
Oh,
For
my
our
bad.
top 3
Can I-
teams.
I'll let Marn
I'll let
and
Marn
Cloud
go
first.
first.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
Where I will push back is where, yes, Palafox was a big detriment. That can also be aligned with coaching. Because what was we doing before Reaper came in? We were winning championships, making international events. He came in, back-to-back chokes. Like,
Did you say winning international events?
no, I said winning and competing at internet. Like, we were making
Oh, okay.
international
I
events.
just wanted. I wanted to be very fucking clear on that. Just making sure.
Wait until Casper Cup, and then we'll add that in.
T1 is gonna
Dear.
bitch slap your ass all the way to Sand Hell. You're not even gonna make it out of your group. If you do, you're gonna get bitch slapped by T1. But Genji and Hava Life.
If Arnold ever watches this for some reason,
when Genji rolls up, if they have their entire roster, if Genji or Hava Life roll up with their entire roster, you will see a trail of shit and piss following every single player that is on C9 as they're going to sit down on that stage.
That is absolutely fine, because I will take preseason games over nothing. Like, I will take these really difficult preseason games over.
We'll say. Imagine this is a cup of hot cocoa. This is gonna be me at 3 a.m. sitting here going, "Oh, they're losing again. Oh wow, that's another loss for C9 against the actual starting teams, the Korean teams. This is nice. I can start this in December. You mean in December I can watch them just choke? And since I don't get to see it anymore, because really they don't.
You can't call it a choke if they're playing Genji and Humble Life's like $10 billion roster. That's not a choke, my friend.
Well, the thing is, they're going to lose to their subs, to not even their main roster. That's the
We're
funny
not
part.
100 thieves from last year, where we didn't lose to Fearx.
You shut your mouth, because who was the only team that put up any sort of respectable performance against an Eastern team last year? Oh wait.
No,
100
but
Thieves.
what I'm saying is, I know that people are going to, and this is just esports, isn't it? Like, I know if us or TL like don't do well at Casper Cup, they're going to be like, blow up the roster, make a change before lock-in tournament, like get the graphics ready.
Yep.
What I'll go back to is, I think a big detriment to why. Like, because we were winning with this core before Reaper came in. Like we were doing well, and I genuinely do believe, and like, the jury will be out on an era after this season, or like midway through. Like, as much as I love him, we will find out if he has, like, him and Dom are the glue to just build the last block of the bridge to actually, like, to go back to winning. But to me, I just want to make international event. Like, I'm not saying I don't care about winning, but my priority is C9 needs to be one of the representatives at MSI and at Worlds this year. Because,
I mean, what, 32.5% of the league goes to Worlds?
Yeah.
So,
and
should be easy.
And I want to hear, like, the roar of the crowd when we have an NA mid. Like, that'd be cinema to me. But I do think Reaper was a big problem, that he wasn't the same coach that I had so many, like, fond memories, like, watching in the early years of LCS. And, like, we don't know if Dom and Nero are going to be the answer, but I do believe, as much as removing Palafox would be, like, a good pressure valve for their Shopify players, I do think an introduction to... Because I know Nero was the head, like, the assistant coach, but it's completely different dynamically. You actually, now this is your team, now you style it how you want to. And I think this is going to be a new thing. And on the APA Fearless thing, the one thing I actually liked from his interview with Don Jake, that him and Vega are already actively working on... Like, that was one of the things when they came in, is that you have to work. There is shit to work on. Like, we're not just going to sugarcoat, oh, APA comes in and now everything's fine. It wasn't a change we were planning to make, but now that you're here, there is actual things to work on, and I like the pivot. Like, I just had a gut feeling when the unfortunate news that Loki had to step away, I immediately said, go and get me APA. Because I think his intangibles are going to be good for this roster, even though I wanted to see the Loki year 2. Even if we don't know where Loki would have ended up. I think he's going to be a superstar. Personally, like, you could already see glimpses last year. But I think this is going to be a different team, and if a lot of fans are willing to give Fudge that second chance, because people were down on Fudge when he joined Shopify. Like, I'm willing to give APA
Not
that
me.
same.
Not me.
Like, I'm.
Your boy was singing his praises from the jump.
Like, I'm. Like, I think this guy just wants to win, and so does every C9 fan.
What are your top three? Sorry, go ahead, David.
Can I make one point on that real quick? And here's something that I'm just calling this shot now. If C9 gets the APA of 2025, it's going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
If C9 gets the APA of 2024, specifically the one that has that vocal edge and that little bit of shit talk to him, not like this passive, hey, I'm just going to be better, I'm going to do this. Like the one that is willing to fuck with your head and get in it, that is a mental edge that C9 has been missing for 2 straight years now. And you have players like Sven, like Blabber, that I think can do a lot if they gained a little bit of false confidence and just had this little bit of ego to them. There's a balance. You don't want to be too ego to the point where you tip the scales over. But it seems to me like a lot of the players on C9 have kind of like taken a step back and kind of like shelled up a little bit. Yeah, that's
what I had this thought on the train the other day. I was like, I want you to come in and be like nasty. Like, I want you to be like,
yes,
like come in with like a point to prove you're assholes. Like, yes, you choked. Yep. Fuck that. Like, we just be horrible. Like, we see this in like sports that you just have players that are like nasty players, but they win that mental edge from like the first tackle, or like you get in their heads. And I want APA, and I want him to bring that back out of Sven. And like, I want, like, when APA's getting up, Vulcan's getting up with him. Like, I want that like energy.
I recently watched a clip of LeBron has a podcast that he does. I don't know who his co-host is with, but he had Steph Curry on, and they were talking about the Olympics and how prior to the game versus France, Curry was having a very bad Olympics for the most part. Stats were down, time possession down, like shot playmaking was down. Everything was just not working well, and they saw it in practice. Like you could see the wheels not quite turning the way they were or where they are in his prime. But everybody knew in the back of their mind, it's like a Curry game is due. It's been a while. It's coming. And just have faith in it. And all of them were hyping him up behind the scenes saying, hey, it's fucking coming. Just give it time. And then it happens at the time that it matters most. You need somebody in that locker room that will be that presence that says, hey, even if, Blabber might have his games where he ints or runs it down, Sven is not going to be this guy that everybody sits here and talks about as like the greatest ADC. But you know what? If we fucking win, that's all that matters. And APA is that type of guy that comes from a wrestling background, that traditional sports mentality that gets that. And I don't want to see him neutered by esports anymore. Okay. I need him to get back to that old school APA mentality that's not toxic, but just understands that competition and can push the locker room to the point where C9 could potentially get over that hurdle. That's a big difference to me.
Reaper only has one title?
Yes. With 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves?
No, he won in 2020.
No, Reaper has 2.
He won in 2020.
He won with in 2020 with C9.
He did win in 2020?
2022 with 100 Thieves. Or 2021 with 100 Thieves, yeah.
That's crazy, bro. I would have thought he had way more the way you guys talk him up.
No, I mean he made like world semis and stuff, and
he was like
world quarters. But
he was like
didn't win championships.
He was like chain producing quarterfinals appearances for us. Like we were just like TSM existed, so we were second a lot of times. Like,
no, I know. I was just like, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Maybe you will. Actually, I take everything back. Maybe you guys are about to have the chains taken off, and you're gonna go win a title, and I'm completely wrong. I had no idea you won so much without him.
Paul, give me your top 3 teams for the year.
Top 3 for the year is TL, SR, C9.
In that order?
I mean, sure, yeah. That order works with me, I guess. I don't think, and I honestly, I don't think any of them are like head and shoulders safe in that top 3 zone. I think any of them could be beat out. I think Lion is like a close fourth to them, but the only problem I have with Lion is I have no idea if Winsome is actually good or not on a roster.
It's Isles. It's Isles.
Or Isles.
I know what we all still put the two of them
I just have,
back and forth.
It's like weird with Isles. I just have such I think FlyQuest roster is just stinky. That
not
thing
for
is
this year. It's in
as it
development.
gets.
Yeah. Marn, what's your top 3?
The roster's happy to be top 4 in an 8-team league.
Yeah.
Happy to be top 4. That's crazy work.
What does my head and heart say? And I know I'll because I'll pitch this up because I know David's gonna have 2. I have a feeling, an early and a late. C9 Shopify Lion. I'm going to have faith that the league will be shit enough that Inspired and Berserker can just be like the 2023 C9, kind of just smurf it enough to be like top 3. But I don't think unless FlyQuest do something completely left field and their kids are just unlocked from the get-go, and Masu, because the thing is, Masu also had a really lower year than before, and Quad's coming off a really stinky Worlds. Just a quick Paul. I like the term stinky. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
All right, David, let's hear your top 3.
Question. What team did Impact play for in 2021?
2021 was EG.
What, he was with EG for 2 straight years?
2 straight years. He had the Jizuke Svenskeren roster with Deftly and I forget the support.
Yeah. Okay. I was just trying to see, because I was trying to in my head think about Impact's bounce back in 2022. Because the thing that I'm really stuck on, in no particular order, I have C9 up there in my top 3 by the end of the year. And I really struggle after that. But I also don't think me having C9 in my top 3 also does not mean that I think they're going to win. I just think the top 5 teams of C9, TL, Fly, Lion, Shopify are all going to be vying for those slots at the end of the year. I think it's going to be so close between all 5 of them that it's going to be interesting. So if I had to put my top 3, stamp it in time, C9 is going to be one of them. FlyQuest will be another, because we've seen too many times of people doubting young players coming in this league that, EG 2022 is going to take too much time. 100 Thieves was going to take too much.
Three veterans.
I know. There's no veterans, but I think ThinkHard as a coach is going to be able to allow. I'm not saying FlyQuest is going to be good early. This is specifically a prediction for the end of the year. You asked me early, end of lock-in tournament, TL, C9, Shopify. Those 3 in that order, specifically. But by end of year, given a full year to figure out who will end up being the locker room leader of that team, to figure out who's gonna be able to usher them in and become that person that steps up in that moment, which could also include a roster change, because don't forget, a team that has gone to Worlds last 2 years has included a roster change midway through the year. And the whole point of this FlyQuest roster is to figure out what core pieces to build around. And if they make a decision, say for example, Gatghost isn't it, right? And you plug in Dokla later in the year, that's entirely a possibility. I just think they are set up with a ton of, or Blippo, whoever you want. They are set up with enough good pieces that you can try and figure out that by end of year, they can make a change and go. My final team, this is hard, because I think TL's likely to choke towards the end of the year. Lion's likely to choke by the end of the year. Shopify might step up, but I weirdly see you guys peaking in split 2. You know what? I'm going to go Shopify. Fuck it. I think that's gonna be my 3.
Another interesting point I'm thinking of is, does the removal of Inspired and Bwipo unlock, in a weird way, unlock Masu and Quad? Because now that like overbearing like presence is gone, or does it make them 10 times worse and show they were more reliant on these 2 players to get them through?
If you look at how they were talking in interviews and like behind the scenes and things like that, I think they were already unlocked. I think they'll play worse rather than better. Like Masu legitimately wanted to start like weird ass items like tier on Jin or something crazy like that. Like once the chains are unlocked, these players were doing some weird stuff.
Were the chains unlocked because they were mentally broken, or were the chains unlocked? What was my question is, what's the timeline of when he's suggesting tier on Jin?
I don't think it was tier, but it's something stupid like that.
You get my point.
He wanted to start Pink Ward. Yeah.
Sure, you get my point though.
It was this year. It was this year they felt more comfortable in Quad and Masu. And
I don't think this year they felt more comfortable. I'll be honest with you. FlyQuest from they can say all they want. I don't give a fuck. FlyQuest this year from Split 1 showed a ton of signs of problems. A ton. Like the fact that they got upset so early on by 100 Thieves was already a red flag that everybody should have been paying attention to. Like the regression of FlyQuest from end of last year to this year, just at the beginning, was already apparent. That I think they were mentally like starting to show cracks in small ways that by the time summer came, then yeah, obviously it fell apart. They're just raw mechanically talented enough to like their floors that high.
Almost. Split 2, they clearly peaked. Like Split 2, them playing against BLG was them playing at a level we had not seen. They were clearly improving. Look at how Busio improved from Worlds to Split 2. Yes, Split 3, they got worse. But I think they took the lessons from Split 1, those like 5 weeks, very seriously, and they played a lot better in Split 2.
Sure. But how does a roller coaster work? Okay. You go up, you come down, you go back up again, and then it finally crashes.
This is why.
And MSI to me is, hey, they went up, they like Worlds, they got to this point, they collapsed a little bit, they were able to use some of that momentum to shoot up just above where they were before, because let's be honest, you can say they look good, but they still didn't win a game 5, they still didn't beat an Eastern team in a series, so it's the same result regardless. Like even though they look good, and I will give them credit for that, same result. The problem is then eventually that has to come down, and when it came down really hard, really fast. Despite them winning, that's the problem of everybody else in the region absolutely fucking like collapsing at the end of last year for the most part. Like
they were so fortunate that C9 and TO, who I thought were the only 2 like legitimate contenders to take them down, fell off like really hard.
TL?
Before,
TL, like, brother, 100 Thieves pushed them more than anybody in summer.
TL, like,
100 Thieves, like we realistically should have pushed them to 5 in that series, but we threw our asses off.
Your game 1. Also, FlyQuest started at Worlds. So like their collapse started at Worlds. So even if like Cloud9 didn't choke, I don't know that they would have won.
I think if like we kept, like, it's obviously hypotheticals, but I think if we would have kept the level that we were having from spring like into summer and like summer playoffs, we would have beaten them. And not like...
Yes, same. If FlyQuest kept playing as well as they did in spring, they would have beaten G2. Like, yeah.
But yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, I think they were just fortunate that other teams, like, I don't think, I know in the end, 100 Thieves probably could have been, like, taken down that series, but I, like, going into summer, I wasn't saying, yeah, 100 Thieves and Shopify are the 2 teams I'm going to send to go face FlyQuest. I would have put C9 and TL, but obviously the TL had, like, the problems that, like, occurred, and C9 did Reaper things.
We 3-0'd Team Liquid in spring. I don't know why, like...
And coming into this year, I wouldn't have had the Indianapolis Colts as one of the best teams in the NFL, yet here I am having to kiss Paul's ass because they're suddenly fantastic. I don't give a fuck what the paper says. That's what the reality of the cards say after they lay down. Was,
at some point, will they like return to form, and it just never happened because, like, even APA saying they kept having conversations, and it felt like this is the week that we turn back into sentient human beings, and it never happened. And then where they're like, okay, spawns fly, and then you thought, oh shit, and then the problem still never fixed itself.
They never went.
I mean, I agree with you. At the end of Split 2, it really did look like there was it was FlyQuest and Cloud9, and then there was a step below, and then there was Shopify, and then God knows what was happening with 100 Thieves and Team Liquid. It was like a very clear top 2, a third, and then like everyone else was just like collapsing and burning. Yeah. I will say for my top 3, just to what Jacob's saying, I actually think FlyQuest will not FlyQuest. I don't think FlyQuest is going to be top 3. I think this is a 2-year project, not a 1-year project. Like even look at Busio, who everyone was saying was going to be a top tier support, took 3 years. But 2 years on FlyQuest, but 3 years in total. Like the first year, obviously he still had Nuke Duck. It's not like he didn't have any help.
Don't get me started on Nuke Duck.
That's fine. This stuff takes time, is my point. Even someone like Busio took time. And then I think I'm going to put Shopify first. And I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I do have more reasoning. I'm going to actually put C9 second. I think it really depends on whether I will dominate as a full-time coach. Will actually be as good as everybody thinks he will be. Because just because you're smart at the game and you are good as a consultant of like, hey, look at what they're doing here. We can definitely improve on this or improve on that. Does not mean you're good as a coach. Those are very different skills, and I think we're gonna have to just see what happens. And I think Lion's gonna be third. I just think the caliber of players puts them above like Team Liquid. I think Team Liquid are gonna collapse. I have no faith in like the Team Liquid project. Bringing in Morgan just makes it feel like what. Yeah, I don't have faith in this project.
The one thing I'll say,
their coach is also as far away as possible.
What's up?
So
their coach is as far away as
their coach is literally on the other side of the planet.
The one thing
Discord head coach
17-hour like time difference.
The one thing like I know Casper Cup people are going to look at results if we do badly. What I'm actually looking at is how is Blabber and APA like pairing as a duo, because that's what I'm the most interested in. Because is it going to be APA is going to want the resources and Blabber's got to play to him, or is it going to be like how Niski and Eminez were playing with, like, they want to play for Blabber and they want to set him up? That would be, because I'm curious how we play as a team, because I think we're going to be different, because APA is very, very vocal about how he wants to play the game and how he sees it, and if we remain on the same page, I do think we can level up, like, from a macro perspective, because I think we actually were pretty good last year, even though we fell off at the end. But I'm happy with where we landed, like, going into next year, because I still think all these players, they do have a tilt in them. I'm not gonna like deny that, but I also think they were top 2, top 3 in their role for most of the year. So I'm leaning on that to be like the floor, basically.
We didn't touch on Lion all that much. It seems like we're all Marn and Cloud.
Yeah.
Very down on them.
Nah, I think I kind of screwed up forgetting about them too much. Because there is a lot of similarities between them and, well, maybe not them and C9. I don't know. There's no similarities. I take all that back. They're just a weird team. They have they have 2, I would say, studs in Berserker and Inspired. I'm not really worried about the fact Berserker had that one bad year, even though I'm worried about it for Morgan. Morgan did it for like 6. Berserker had 1 year where he played on a crap team. And I think he'll be fine. I'm just very worried about Isles. I think Isles is just in way over his head, especially with the way like Berserker and Inspired seem to talk behind the scenes. They don't seem like people who are going to be kind to the weakest link, and he's very clearly not good most places he goes. Like, I just have no faith in that. I also think we haven't really talked about Dom. I don't get why everybody's just hyping this guy up like he's the next LS savior of the world. Like, they're really acting like he's going to come in and just change the game.
No, I'm saying it's the most exciting thing to watch. It's the most exciting thing to watch, is it not?
Yeah. But I still see how a toxic streamer comes in. Well, I don't know if it's that exciting.
He's been working with like literally the C9 players were like, get us Dom. He was really useful throughout the year. So like, I don't think he's like this toxic streamer kind of thing.
I think though, once you're a coach, that changes a lot. who you are as a person. When you're on the outside, it's a lot easier to be like, this is what I would do, but that's just how I do it type of thing.
Oh,
But
is
once
this
you're
about
in there
Dom?
and you
Sorry,
have the role,
I went bathroom. Is this
Yeah.
about Dom?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a really good point on
I
Dom
think
after you guys have spoken.
once he's in there, it changes a lot, especially with APA, who is a known like get in your face player. I mean, just from what we know, Blabber is a known get in your face player, and they're both probably the two stinkiest players on that team from how their past years went. And so they're gonna really be the dudes who get in there and lead and start screaming at people. APA had a really bad last year. Blabber legitimately lost C9 their series against FlyQuest in Split 2 on his own. We literally all sat there and watched him do the old, like, gold Jarvan sprint at the ADC, realizing you're out of range, and then just turn around and die instantly because you panic. Like, I just don't see how that team is going to survive mentally.
I don't want to start this blabber conversation, but I don't know how a top 2 jungler for 95% of the year is stinky year by all means.
Because he's soft. This C9 team is so soft. They struggle once they collapse. That's why people
95% of the year. You
but
thought
you
he
can't
was the top
talk about
jungler?
soft after how you guys ended. You can't talk about you're a team of C9.
Our players had done it once. Your players do it every year.
No, but you guys are wildly consistent.
Us not being soft.
He was...
Look. Us being soft, it doesn't mean you're not soft. So like, stop. Just redirecting.
I don't want to go down this narrative, but I feel like I'm going to cause like a shitstorm, and I feel like I'm down for it. Shopify is a fluke series team. They beat us
before we talk about Shopify, let's just stick with C9.
Let me land.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to just say fuck it, and if I never get a Shopify interview after this, that's absolutely fine. I still think they're a good org. Owners hit and miss, but like we can not touch on that. I'm just gonna start a bullshit narrative that I think that you guys just had a fluke series upset win, and like you were wildly inconsistent the majority. I think Fudge did return to form. He looked better, like, and props to him, because it is not like, one thing I'm gonna be serious on, it's not easy to bounce back after like how like what happened at the end of C9, where to some degree he was like wildly scapegoated when there was other problems on that team, including coaches at the time. But like, I'm so vexed up now. I don't even know what my fucking point was.
Okay. So you got your Shopify like hate flame out. Let's go back to what we were actually talking about with C9, right? Just because Shopify exists doesn't change the fact that C9 exists as well. So C9, even I Will Dominate was talking about his team being soft. Okay, that is the issue that we have. Does I Will Dominate and APA coming in change this team from being soft and collapsing at every point of pressure?
Well,
that's really what you have to find.
Think if you have a dog cage, right? Dog cage full of puppies. You've now introduced a pit bull, so that cage looks a lot scarier.
But I Will Dominate was there last year, right?
I'm talking about APA from like if you're talking about the team being soft, you've added a scary dog. Or like in terms of mentality, I'm not saying like his actual performance. You've added someone with a little bit of an edge to them that's going to piss your teammates off, and it's up to the other players to get around it, because they did voucher him. Like APA said, Sven was a big like voucher for this guy and bringing him on, like when they had to get a new mid laner.
I'm dying though, bro, because last year, you win, what was it, the 9 games? Was it 9 best of 3s, or was it like 6 games for the pick'em phase, whatever? The stupid.
It was 3 best of
3. I know you guys were number 1 in it. That's all I remember. But then you guys went to 5 games against DSG, and everyone called me crazy when I said that was gonna go to 5 games. And then when it did, your whole fan base was literally begging Blabber to be cut next year. Like, everyone in our Discord who's a C9 loyal was like, Blabber needs to go. But you're sitting here telling me 95% of that year you were chill with his play? Like, you guys weren't begging this man to move on?
Like, I always said, if a better option became available, I would do that swap. There wasn't a better option because I knew we didn't have the money for Inspired. Like, so I'm not even going to get into the hypothetical of, why didn't we bring in Inspired? We're just than that. And then there's no other jungler in the league that I was like, yeah, I'll pick him up. And because I wanted to keep our solo laners, there was no import option for me, like to look at.
You don't think like a River or a Contracts could have unlocked you guys better?
No, because
than
I think Contracts is like wildly inconsistent. I think we'd be back at the same point of just C9 fans complaining, what the fuck is Contracts doing? Why is he like flipping everything? This guy is just wildly inconsistent. I feel like you're getting a similar level of play, even if Contracts, like, it's weird. I don't think Contracts like does anything for this team.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about our jungle pool last year, he probably was somewhere in that top 4 area because how bad our jungle pool was. Like, TL just didn't have a jungler most of the year.
I thought the top 2 junglers like that year were
Cloud9, what?
Inspired
River.
Blabber, and then River, like at points was like it was interchangeable between Blabber and River, but then like I wasn't having Contracts
River
above
did
them.
have a huge downturn.
Like, I thought Blabber was good. Like, yes, he cost us the final. But, like...
Do you think he was top 2 because of himself or because of your roster and the fact Loki...
I thought he was playing... I thought he was playing pretty well.
Because of himself. Loki
wasn't even a top 3 mid.
Until the very end.
Split 3, Loki was keeping them in games.
I'm quoting APA on that one.
I was about to be like, what? Loki was keeping them in games.
I was saying that to piss Marn off because I know Marn went on his tirade last year of when are people going to call out APA for saying that Loki wasn't top 3 and meanwhile APA's watcher from the bench.
Because like honestly, do any of you? Dave's pretty much TL, right? Dave, do you want Blabber on TL?
Yeah, I take Blabber on TL
over Jose Diodo.
Yes.
Any day of the week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is that even a question? Is that even a question? What the fuck are you saying?
Actually,
that's not like Califox Zinni level, but that's pretty close.
Yes,
like, come on, dude.
Yes, I legitimately think if Blabber goes to any other team other than C9, he succeeds so goddamn well with a change of environment, just allowing him a fresh shit.
FlyQuest, he's gonna lead them.
I don't know. I don't know if I consider Blabber a leader of the youth necessarily, but
if we're going any other team. Do you think he makes Shopify better than they are right now?
I think so because I think he's
overall
package of gameplay is pretty. Like people are like looking at his moments as like over his actual.
He couldn't play Vi the
performance.
whole year.
Everyone
and
has
his
their
Jarvan started to tank off a cliff.
But everyone has their like.
And those were important champs, like extremely important champs.
I'm not gonna argue that. Like he's.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, the thing is, I can't sit here and say that it was good. I'm just saying Fudge was also shit whenever he ended his time on Cloud9. But the second he goes to Shopify, things improve a little bit. So I'm saying for Blabber, I don't think it makes that big of a difference, but I think even a 10% improvement leads him to a title. Simple as that.
I think on TL, I'd be convinced. I don't think any other roster he could go to in the league, and he all of a sudden like shines on there.
Put it this way: you can't
because
tell
a lot of
me
them have crappy players, right?
You can't tell me that if Blabber's on TL right now, that they are not immediate favorites for the entire year.
It doesn't do that for me.
For me, it does.
He was.
I think
C9 was falling apart last year. A main reason.
I think
he had
for C9, I think the issues were team wide. I think the issues were team wide on C9.